It's quite apt. It's quite apt, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a massive thunderstorm happening in the background. Every now and then you'll see a little bit of lightning in the background. You'll see there's a little bit of lightning. It's quite apt. It's thunderstorm feelings. It's thunderstorm feelings here at Chelsea Football Club. It's quite apt that there's lightning at the background, in the background. Yeah, Valan, man, gonna start ranting again. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. 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 We need to keep speaking the truth all the time. We have to. We have to keep speaking the truth. There's no two ways about it. There's absolutely no two ways about it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this nonsense once again. I love it. I love the background. I absolutely love the background. It is kicking off. The lightning, the thunderstorm, the rain, it is kicking off in the background. It's perfect. It's a storm. It's a storm here at Chelsea Football Club. Once again, under this new ownership, 3 seasons in a row. Why do we find ourselves in this predicament? A lot of people will say about Miz, we're still fourth. We're still fourth. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. 5 matches. Winless in 5 matches. And there seems to be some major problems. Parts of our game looks fine, and then parts of our game that doesn't look good. We're going to delve deep into everything today. We're going to delve deep into every single bit of detail. We're going to talk about Maresca. Of course we will. We're going to talk about players. We're going to talk about the owners, the directors. Man, it's kicking off. It is kicking off in the background. Absolutely kicking off. It's perfect. It's perfect. The setting is perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, for all the people that keep saying, oh, Miz, surely you have something to say about Enzo Maresca. Surely. It can't just be on the directors all the time. Surely you have something to say about Enzo Maresca. Okay, let's talk about Enzo Maresca. Let's talk about him. Let's talk a little bit about Enzo Maresca. We all knew Enzo Maresca at this level, he lacks the experience. We all knew that. We all knew that. He lacks the experience at this level. He himself is also learning as he's going. But I think he's actually a good manager. He studies the opposition. And overall, he's got a good system at Chelsea Football Club. If you look at our past 5 games where we haven't won, bar the Ipswich one, where that was a little bit of a miscalculation. I don't think Palmer and Nkunku, Felix all should play because it just doesn't work out. Bar that, we should have won all the other ones, to be honest. We had chances against Everton. Yes, they had chances too, but we had chances against Everton. We should have beaten Fulham. At halftime, we should have already smoked Fulham. We should have beaten Crystal Palace by halftime once again, and we definitely should have beaten Bournemouth by halftime. So it's not as if the manager is absolutely clueless. The manager knows what he's doing. He's setting up the team nicely, and the team should be winning clean by halftime. We build up nicely. We can resist the press from the opposition, and we've been creating a lot of chances. Now, the criticism of Enzo Maresca, however, is the fact that Why aren't you utilizing the squad? Why aren't you finding ways to utilize Nkunku, finding ways to utilize João Felix, finding ways to, when things are looking tough in the second half, finding ways to win the game. Throw the kitchen sink. That's what a lot of people have been saying. I've been saying it against Fulham as well. Throw the kitchen sink. When you're losing, you might as well throw the kitchen sink. Sure, those points, you can argue that, yeah, they're legitimate criticism towards Enzo Maresca. But for me, all of those criticism have a mitigating point. We say, why don't you use João Felix? Why don't you use Nkunku? A lot of people say, use Nkunku, use João Felix, use XYZ players from the bench, make your substitutions earlier. We have to understand. Every manager has their ways. This manager, it's clear. It's so clear. He doesn't trust Nkunku and João Felix. Nkunku is not a striker, and the other striker available is Mark Guiu. He's no way going to be removing Nicholas Jackson to bring in Nkunku because he can't perform the way he wants Nkunku to perform. And he's certainly not going to bring in Mark Guiu, who's a kid, barely developed. So he's sticking to his principles that I'm not going to do this. So that point, mitigating point, is actually on the directors. You should be consulting your manager. You should be knowing exactly how he plays. You've hired him, right? You've hired him. We're going to get to the directors. But I'm just saying this is a mitigating point. You've hired him. You should have done the homework as to how he plays, and let's equip him with players that he can work with. Similarly with João Felix, there's no way he's going to bring in João Felix as long as Cole Palmer is able to run. As long as Cole Palmer is able to run, he's not going to bring João Felix on. He doesn't trust João Felix. He doesn't trust Mudryk. Mudryk's gone anyway now, but even prior to that, he doesn't trust these players. There's a lot of defenders, we say, even I've said it, throw the kitchen sink, but then I've had to sort of think about it. When we say throw the kitchen sink, he's worried that our midfield and our defense, wow, do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? That's massive. That's a massive thunder. When we say throw the kitchen sink, he's worried that the players that we have are incapable. If we throw the kitchen sink, we are incapable of defending. And he's right. None of our defenders are good in wide defending. None of our defenders are good in 1v1 defending. So when we say throw the kitchen sink, he's worried. Once again, squad building. This is why I keep saying squad building. People will say, oh, none of these things were said when we were winning games. No, they were. All of these things were said when we were winning games. All of these things were said when we were even winning games. Defenders were never good. So we can blame Enzo Maresca as much as we want. But the bottom line is, by letting him go, I can see a lot of people already a bit fed up with Enzo Maresca. They want Enzo Maresca. They're saying that I'm losing my patience. Why did we sack Pochettino for this guy? There's red flags. Maresca has red flags. Sure, okay, go sack him again. This is what the new owners have done ever since they've taken over. All they've done is sack managers. And all they've done is just brought in more managers that are probably not up to the level. Let's be honest. Enzo Maresca this job probably came a bit too quick for him. Chelsea should be a step a little bit later. But the bottom line is, he's he, and he's shown some level of competency. In fact, a lot of level of competency. So we can sit here and blame Enzo Maresca, but the bottom line is there are other much, much bigger issues. Much bigger issues. Now let's talk about some of these bigger issues. Because for me, getting rid of Enzo Maresca is not going to be the solution. Now look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Delight Meso. Bring in Inzaghi. Bring in Inzaghi. Look at the team Inzaghi has at Inter Milan. Please, for a second. Because I saw the same comment yesterday as well. Look at the team Inzaghi has at Inter Milan. Tell me the age. Tell me the age of some of those players. Tell me the age of some of those players. Tell me the level of experience of some of those players. You think Inzaghi is going to come here and he's going to appreciate players like Renato Viga, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, the defenders that we have, and a bunch of kids? You think he's going to appreciate that? We have to understand this is not about the manager. This is about the environment that we have created. This is about the environment that the owners and the directors have created at Chelsea Football Club. You can change. You think we haven't changed enough? Thomas Tuchel was sacked. Graham Potter was sacked. Frank Lampard, I'm not really sure why we got him in. That deteriorated the situation even more. Pochettino sacked. Now you want to sack Maresca as well. Bring in Inzaghi. Bring in Inzaghi. And you think that's gonna help us? It's not. It's not. Bottom line is, these sporting directors are a joke, and even more of a joke are the owners, because the owners have hired these sporting directors. Now let's talk about the serious matter. Let's talk about the serious matters. Yeah. Look at the team that we have created. Let's talk all the way from the back. Look at the team. Look at the team we've created. Look at our goalkeeper. Look at our goal every other game. Robert Sanchez looks like he's playing for the opposition. Look at the number of goalkeepers we have bought. Robert Sanchez, Jurgensen, Kepa's on loan. Kepa's not on them though, but they haven't been able to get rid of him. He's on loan. They've got Mike Panders. And they've got hell a lot of other goalkeepers that I don't even know. Slolina or whatever. Petrovic. All of these goalkeepers. Whose idea is this? Whose idea is this? Sporting directors and the owners, no? Sporting directors and the owners. All of these goalkeepers with so much money spent, 1.5 billion pounds, near 2. All that money spent, we don't have a quality goalkeeper. We do not have a quality goalkeeper. A top class, forget about world class level. I'm talking about top class level goalkeeper. We don't have that. That's goalkeeper. Look at the defense that we've assembled. Let's go through. And this goes for even during when we were winning, because every now and then people like to throw that jibe in. Oh, you weren't talking like this when we were winning. No, these issues were always there, even when we were winning. And a lot of people were saying this, and I was definitely saying it as well. Look at the defenders. Let's start naming them. Desarcy was not bought that long ago, a couple of seasons ago. Already he's out. He's not even part of the squad. He's gone. Whose idea was to get Desarcy? Whose idea was it to get SRC? What did he prove? What did he prove? Was he a boss defender? Was he a defender that was showing boss quality? Badiashile. Both of these players, Badiashile and SRC, they were fighting relegation at Monaco. I'm pretty certain of it. Once again, not a leader, not a boss. Tosin, is he a boss? Is Tosin a boss? Sure, he's a smart little squad signing, but is he a boss? Sure, he's on free, but is he a boss? No. From a defensive standpoint, is any of his attributes unbelievable? Maybe aerially, but he's not overall a boss. Levi Colwill, I'm sorry to say, starting to look like a fraud as well. I had high hopes about this kid, but do you know what? He's a kid. Do you know what? He's a kid. Levi Colwill should be partnering with someone who's far senior to him. Levi Colwill should be partnering with someone who is far senior to him. It looks like a mad effect at the background. It's absolutely storming, thunderstorm big time. You don't mess with thunderstorms here in Australia. Australian thunderstorm, badass, absolute badass thunderstorm. Absolute badass thunderstorms in Australia. Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill as well. He should be partnering with someone senior, but he's having to now handhold Achapong. He's having to show Achapong how to... No one's ever shown Levi Colwill around. No one's shown Levi Colwill around. No one's sort of big brothered Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill was a small, he's the small brother who needs a big brother to show him around. And now all of a sudden, Levi Colwill stepped that, he's skipped that step, and he's become the old brother. He's become the guy that needs to show Achapong around it, because Achapong himself is young too. So whose management is this? Whose management is that? Who's doing all of this? Why are we in a stage where Achapong is thrown in with Levi Colwill? Both are young. As much as Achapong's really good, I like him, and I want him to continue. He's going to make mistakes. He got smoked by Semenyo. He's going to make mistakes. He's 18. He's a kid. But he's shown good quality. But once again, he shouldn't be playing week in, week out. He should be getting minutes here and there and building himself up. And through all of this, and Wesley Fofana, sorry, we forgot Wesley Fofana. Wesley Fofana, who's never around anyway. He's never around. He's far more busy fighting on social media. And even when he is around, it's not like he's not mistake prone. He's severely mistake prone as well. He's severely mistake prone as well. So look at all the defenders that I've just lined up. Whose plan was this? Was it Maresca's plan? Did Enzo Maresca bring in all of these defenders? Look at all the defenders that we have. Tell me who's good in 1v1 situation. Tell me who's good in wide positions. Tell me which two defenders can defend in a two, like a Virgil van Dijk and Konate style. Tell me which two defenders can defend like that. Saliba and Magalhaes style. Who? Then on top of that, we've got more youngsters. Anselmino. On top of the defenders that are not good enough and are kids as well, we've got more. We've got more. We're more kids. Anselmino, another 19-year-old who, look, he might look like he's got the potential, but it's kids amongst kids. Kids amongst kids. And you know what's going to happen? Anselmino is probably going to learn from Achapong. Achapong's probably going to get promoted, and Anselmino is going to learn from Achapong. So that's defense. Let's talk about some fullbacks as well. Cucurella, by the same directors, was going to leave last season. At the start of last season, the same directors were going to send him to Man United, if you guys remember. If it wasn't for right at the end, Pochettino utilizing him as that inverted, Cucurella was going to leave. Luckily, Cucurella went to the Euros, had an excellent Euros, and luckily now we've got a manager that loves the way Cucurella plays. He's able to invert. But we almost got rid of him. Who gave Ben Chilwell the new contract? The new owners. Who gave Ben Chilwell, a player that is on a regular basis injured, who gave him a new contract? Who brought in Malo Gusto, and now Malo Gusto as a right back doesn't get to feature, and as an inverted player is unable to perform at the highest level? Whose idea has this been? Who's been thinking about all of these ideas? And Malo Gusto is young as well. We have to be patient. He's young too. He's very young. Luckily enough, now Cucurella has really worked out for us. Yeah? And he's probably the only shining light at the moment for us in the back, Cucurella. All right, let's look at the midfield now. Let's look at the midfield. Why are we getting back Andre Santos? Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we did not have any midfield cover. There was not a single midfielder on the bench. We've got Caicedo, we've got Enzo Fernandez, we've got Romeo Lavia. Romeo Lavia gets injured on a consistent basis. And if anything happens to Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez, touch wood, God forbid. Vega, I even forgot Vega. You know why I forgot Vega? Because Vega forgot us. A lot of people are like, what? Why is he so bothered about Vega, man? He just wants to go on a loan. He just wants to play. He just wants to play football. It's not about he just. This guy has turned out to be an idiot. When he first signed, he said he wants to play anywhere. He'll be happy to play anywhere. He wants to play multiple positions. He's very versatile. And now all of a sudden he wants to be a CB. And then he said he wants to permanently leave. And then 24 hours later, he's saying, oh, you know what? I just want to go for 6 months. What do you think this is? Some sort of a hotel? Do you think this is a hotel? You can just check in, check out whenever you want. You just want to go on a vacation for 6 months. You want to play as a CB. When you come back, what do you want to be? A CB or a left back or an inverted left back? What do you want to be? You want to go away 6 months, play as a center back, and then what? You're going to come back and be what? You're going to come back and be what? Because you're not coming back to be a CB here anymore. We've got a lot of centre backs. You're not coming back to be a CB. You're going to have to then settle for being a left back. So this guy's nonsense. And he's not even, the levels are not even there. Coming back to the midfield position. Why are we recalling Andre Santos? Why aren't we at least recalling Ugochukwu then? Where are our midfielders? All of a sudden, we don't have midfielders. You brought in Cesare Cassidy, yeah? Cesare Cassidy. You brought in Cassidy. And you're looking to part ways with Cassidy. What was the plan around Cassidy then? What was the plan there? The one midfielder that's looking good, you're not willing to bring him back from Strasbourg. I don't know why. He's our player. You can at least get back Ugochukwu. But nah, as Duke said, no, they want Mainu. And this is a legitimate information. They want Mainu. Do you see where the problem is? These guys are playing fantasy football. They're doing player trading. They're doing stock market trading. Every window, buy more, sell more, buy more, sell more. I didn't even talk about Chalobah, by the way. Chalobah was probably the one defender that was better than a lot of these defenders, and they sent him away on loan. Whose decision was that? So many left backs. Yeah? So many left backs. Ian Martson, Lewis Hall. But they decided to keep a injured Ben Chilwell, giving him 190k, injured game Ben Chilwell, who's not even being utilized now. We could have done with the Ian Martson or Lewis Hall now, yeah? Both of them could have inverted, yeah? And now we're left with no left back, and the one left back that we bought wants to be a CB. So midfield, there's problems as well. Midfields, there's problem. These are not all Maresca's issues. These are directors. These are sporting directors who have never, ever won anything in their life. These sporting directors have not won anything in their life. Tell me live chat. Paul Winston-Lee and Lawrence Stewart, what winning track record do they have? What winning track record do they have to assemble a team that competes at the highest level to win trophies? What track record do they have? Analyst over there. He was a data analyst. Okay, now we look forward up front. You got Cole Palmer. You got Nkunku. Both can maybe interchange. Yeah? Two players you can potentially interchange, but Enzo Maresca has realized Nkunku doesn't really work hard enough. Okay, let's try and do something about that. So what did you do something about that? You added another number 10, João Felix. When you were going for Samuel Omar Dion, that probably made a lot more sense in terms of striker. Might not have been my choice at that time because no one knew about Samuel Omar Dion, but we appreciate the idea. We appreciated the idea because he's a striker. No, but you deviated away from the striker. You went for João Felix. So now you got João Felix, you got Cole Palmer, and you've got Nkunku. I just want to quickly bring this up, and we're going to come back to that point again, attacking point. Shervin, big up to you, my man. Big up, Miz. I think the pure profit situation is the real reason players are sold or kept, not what is best for the team. Yeah, no, I get that. But I want to count, and look, I fully understand PSR. For PSR, we needed to sell to get pure profit. No problems. But did we need to purchase so many players? Could we not have? Could we have done without Desasi and Buddy Issue? Maybe not sell one player and not do without Desasi. I mean, we got pure profit from Mason Mount. That was the right decision. We got profit from Havertz. Right decision. That's not pure profit, but we sold him. We sold Gallagher. Maybe right decision as well. Pure profit. But did we need to sell a lot more than that? Did we need to buy some unnecessary players? We could have saved. We can't sit here and say that we needed to spend 1.5 billion. You know what the crazy part is? Spending 1.5 billion, whatever the number is, it's more than a billion, right? It's more than £1 billion. Did we need to spend all of that to make a supreme squad? And you know what the funny thing is? The squad isn't even supreme. With all that money spent, there's so much more holes. It's crazy. Talk about mismanagement of money. These directors, they've not done commerce in their life. They've not studied economics, commerce, business studies in their high school, universities, whatever. The mismanagement of money. we never required to spend that much. It was never required. And even after when you spent that much, you have flopped big time. There's more holes. There's more holes after spending 1.5 billion or 1 billion. There's more holes. So, getting back to the attacking point. You got Palmer, you got Nkunku, you got João Felix. Whose idea was this? Maresca's. Did Enzo Maresca say, get me all of these three? People say, wow, Chelsea's loaded. They're stocked. Nkunku, Palmer, Felix. It doesn't work that way. Just because they're all good names, that's not how you build a squad. That's a proper imbalance right there. And don't forget Chukwuemeka. All of a sudden, Chukwuemeka's out of the door. Okay, he's been injured, no problems, but isn't he not a 10 as well? Or someone who could be part of the midfield? Oh, sorry, I even forgot about Keenan Dewsbury-Hall in midfield. I've even forgotten about Keenan Dewsbury-Hall. Look at the state of this squad. I've gone from goalkeeper to defense to midfield. Wow, I've forgotten another man. Thank you, Ashraf. Kellyman. Where's my man, Omari Kellyman? Now let's come to the attack. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He just joined now and he thinks he heard everything. I literally just spoke about Maresca at the start of the stream. Brother Daffy, if you just joined now, then you're a fool. You join now and you're going to just start putting these type of comments. You've got no idea what I've spoken for the past 30 minutes. You've got no idea how I started this. You know what I've realized? The other thing that I've realized, sorry to say this, there's a lot of fools in our fan base, man. There's a lot of fools. There's a lot of fools. There's so many fans in our fan base that just don't think deep, man. They just can't think deep. They're very basic level of thinking. Look at this guy, another guy, Omar. The way Miz talks, you'd think Maresca is prime Mourinho. For once, did I say he's prime Mourinho? For once. I started off by saying he's got criticism. And then I said he's not the biggest issue. There are far bigger issues. And my brother Omar, who must have just graduated from high school, is saying the way he talks, he thinks Maresca is prime Mourinho. That's he's telling me, someone who grew up, someone who was, do you know what I mean? Like was an adult throughout Mourinho era. I finished high school by the time Mourinho came in. I was in my university. I was in university at that point. This guy's telling me. That's what I'm saying. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like, fans are not smart enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say. Not smart enough. Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. So who's the next scapegoat? Trust the process. Now, coming back to the attackers. Mudryk. Whose idea was that? Noni Madueke. Why aren't we looking to upgrade ASAP? But you know what? He wasn't even that bad against Bournemouth. He created a really good opportunity for Jackson. But overall, inconsistent. We know that. Sancho's looking good, which is a tick mark. And we've all said a tick mark even during summer when he was brought in. Sancho's looking good. No problems. He's a quality player. Pedro Neto is also a quality player. It's a tick mark. But in recent times, it's not worked out for Pedro Neto. We understand that. But he's a quality player. The amount of times Pedro Neto, the inverted cross, and there's no one there. But look at the way we're building the squad. We've got Estava Willian. We've got Kendry Paez in the future coming up. Kids, more kids. Then what? then what are we going to do? Maybe now we need, because Mudryk is probably going to get suspended, and guess who we got linked with? Guess who our directors like for a long time? Matthias Tell, who doesn't even want to come to Chelsea. Tell's actually not a bad player. Tell's a good player. Matthias Tell is a good player. He's not like your ordinary everyday kid. He's got a little bit of substance about him. But he's a kid again. Nonetheless, he's still a kid. Kids on top of kids. Kids learning from kids. I don't know why there is this fear, this phobia. It has to be a phobia right now of getting players a little bit more experience, a little bit more older, a bit more maturity. People talk about, oh, Chelsea team lacks maturity. The same people that want kids go, oh, we lack maturity. I wonder why we lack maturity. Because think about what we were doing when we were a kid. When we were 18, 19, 20, 21, what were we doing? What maturity are we going to have at that stage? What do we know about life at that moment? And up front, we've got Nicholas Jackson, who, to be honest, has been developing, but there's no competition for this guy. There's zero competition. 3 seasons under the new ownership. And okay, Nicholas Jackson's been here. This is his 2nd season. So you've had quite a few multiple windows since Nicholas Jackson's joined to bring in another striker to genuinely compete with Nicholas Jackson. But no, large part of the fan base are scared that, oh no, don't bring in anyone too good to halt Nicholas Jackson's progress. That's not how you operate. So what did they do? They brought in a kid, Gyu. They brought in a kid named Gyu to help out Enzo Maresca. And then fans get upset, oh, why aren't you using Gyu? Like as if Gyu is going to help us get into top 4 in the Premier League. All of those windows, and these owners could not go and finalize a transaction to get a legitimate striker to compete with Nicholas Jackson. And throughout all of these times, all of these different strikers that we bought, David Datra Fofana, David Washington, we got rid of Armando Broja, probably rightly so. And we can't seem to bring in a proper striker. All that money spent. But once again, some fans will say, oh no, but we did good business. We made money out of them. We made money. Yeah, well done to your money. Well done to your money. Well done to your money. When are we actually going to start applying serious level of pressure to the ownership, to the directors that, guys, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're not saying don't buy kids at all. That's not what we're saying. If you identify a gem, no problems. Get the gem. But please, there's no need to get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gems. There's no need for that. This is stock market attitude. Oh, buy that share, buy this share, buy that share. It's going to explode. It's going to take off. Buy this stock. Stocks are going to rise. Buy 2 or 3 really talented players, no problems. 2 or 3 really talented players. And then surround it with good experience level of players. It's crazy. Our squad building is pathetic. And then we want to sack the manager as if the next manager is going to come in and do the job for us. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But these directors are not doing this without the owner's direction. And do you know what the crazy thing is? If you look at the history of these directors, both Paul Winstonley and Lawrence Stewart, they come from clubs that do this type of transactions. They come from clubs that rely on this type of model. See the model that we have at Chelsea Football Club. This is no different to how things happen in Brighton, and this is no different to how things happen in Monaco. This is where these two have come from. And they've literally just brought that same model here at Chelsea Football Club. They're using it like at a bigger scale, because they can't do that level of scale at Brighton and Monaco. Now they're doing it at a global scale. Huge reach. Dortmund, another one. But at least Dortmund, they're somewhat successful in doing that. It doesn't look like we're going to be successful under this ownership by doing that. In life, no limits. Big up to you, my man. Big up, Miz. Just exempt. He can manage games better, but how many managers do we want to hire, fire? It seems like the fan base, that's all they want to do. They just want to hire and fire, hire and fire. Miz, come on. What has Fofana, Gu, and Washington got to do with anything? Blame Maresca for 3 points out of 15. Nothing else is relevant. The squad is good enough to get top 4 easy. All right, well, sack him then. Sack him. It doesn't matter. I've seen this movie many times, Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sanders is talking like, oh, how crazy. The manager's the issue. This has never been the problem at Chelsea before. All the previous managers have been fantastic. Brother, newsflash to you. These owners have sacked more managers in such a short time than our previous lot. In that same time span, wow, the amount of managers that we've sacked at a quicker rate. Here we go. He's another maverick. Sinico, Miz, you're very ignorant to Maresca's mistakes. You think he's a saint, but he's a never. Okay. All right. Now that we've got nearly 400 people, let me make something clear. It's good. Now that we've got everyone here, now we've got everyone's attention. Yeah? Because Sinico must have just joined a moment ago. They've missed the first 10 minutes. And they want to come here and they want to act like a hero. Enzo Maresca is not flawless. 100% he has flaws. Okay. Yes, he can make substitutions a lot earlier, but I've mitigated that. I've said to you, he doesn't trust some of these players. You've given Enzo Maresca a 5-year contract. He's got a set philosophy. He's got a set ideology. He doesn't trust the players in the bench. He doesn't trust them because they can't play his type of football. And if you don't agree with that, then what you're inadvertently saying is get rid of Maresca. And who hired Maresca anyway? Did Maresca hire Maresca? Did Enzo Maresca hire Enzo Maresca? No, these directors did. Who gave Enzo Maresca a 5-year contract? These directors and the owners did. So you brought in a man, you best start collaborating with him. You best start understanding what he needs. Enzo Maresca, the guy that you are having a go at for the second halves, this man literally in the first half had a nice setup, had a nice system that should have won the game outright. Against Fulham, against Crystal Palace, against Bournemouth. We should not have been in the situation that we found ourselves in those 3 matches. Yes, Ipswich was a mismatch. Ipswich, Maresca got it wrong because, I don't know, he played Felix and Nkunku Palmer. It just doesn't work out that way. It's a total imbalance. But whose fault is that again? Directors having those type of players. You're going to bring in an engineer. You've hired an engineer, and then you ask the engineer, now go on, be an accountant now. Be an accountant. Go do the books now. And the fan base, oh, why can't you do the books? Just do what has been given to you. Why can't you do the books? He's an engineer. You're asking an engineer to start doing accounting. He has his preferences in players. He has his preferences, and this isn't the first manager that has got this trait. Every manager have their own preferences. Poch also had his preferences. Look at the way Pochettino utilized a lot of the other players, and look at the way Enzo Maresca utilizes the players. Look at the way Graham Potter utilizes the players. Every manager has their own ways. You're not going to get a manager to do what you always want them to do. We brought Maresca in. We brought him in because we bought into his idea. Yeah? Why did we bring Enzo Maresca in? Tell me this. Why did we bring him in? When we did the interview with Enzo Maresca, we listened to his plans. We listened to his idea. Yeah? And we bought into that. The owners, the directors bought into that. And now all of a sudden you bring this guy in, give him a 5-year contract, and you don't want to give him the players that he needs? Did Enzo Maresca want Mark Guiu? Highly doubted. Did Enzo Maresca want João Felix? Highly doubted. But yes, of course, he's got flaws. Well, he should be able to see that the team in the second half is suffering. All right, let's be proactive. Let's change. Yes, he has flaws, no problems. But these are lower. There are much higher issues in this football club. Siniko, I hope I've addressed your concern now. I hope I've addressed it. Look at this. Look at this, another Maverick. James Luca, this guy just expects us to win every game. All teams have poor form once a season. Man City even have. Let's not overreact when we are still solid in top 4. This guy, he's got no idea what he's talking about. He literally has no idea what we're talking about. He's just come here and just said, oh, you're overreacting. Overreacting about what? This guy's saying even Man City have poor form. He's comparing us to Man City, the team that has literally cleaned up the Premier League. This is what I mean. We got. I'm sorry to say this. We got fools like James Luca in the fan base. What do you expect? What do you expect? Basic knowledge is not there. The basic level of intellectuality is not there. We're in top 4. We are still solid in top 4. When we are still solid in top 4, man said, let's not overreact when we are still solid in top 4. Standing ovation, sitting down. Sitting down, standing ovation. Solid in top 4. It's funny, man. It's funny. Solid in top 4, bro. We'll be 5th when Newcastle play their next match. It's not even about that. It's about how the team is going. It's about where the squad is. It's about this January window where there's a bad sort of taste that's in the air. There's so many players don't want to be around the football club. It's a culmination of things. It's the remember when that Mudryk news came out. Do you guys remember? I was one of the very few in the All You Can Eat Chelsea episode as well, and in my channel. I said, look, whatever's happened to Mudryk, that's his problem. Unfortunately, he's going to get banned. But I hope this news doesn't create some sort of a bad cloud. I hope this news doesn't create a bad cloud, because we were going through a good momentum at that time. We had 8 wins in a row with Conference League matches thrown in. And since that news, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. 5 games since that news. Now, I'm not saying it's all that. I'm just saying these little things, they matter. These little things. Some of you kids, you won't understand this. Some of you kids in the live chat, you won't understand this. But the wiser ones, you'll understand these little bits and pieces. They matter. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I'm just get rid of this stupid idiot. Just gonna get rid of this nonsense guy, man. Just gonna get rid of this guy. Just bear with me, guys. Yeah, gone. It's just like nonsense people in this live chat, man. Some nonsense people. Majority of you guys are good. There are 1 or 2, 3, 4 just nonsense, absolute nonsense. Royston, big up to you, Miz. Why do you think in the first 15 games he was trusting and making early subs and being proactive? The last 5 he has been afraid, or am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe at that point he was just sussing out the whole squad where they are. As time went on, he realized who actually are his type of players. In the beginning, he was basically sussing things out. He was just making sure, okay, let's see what's going on. And now he's finally realized. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, subs he can do a lot earlier, but he doesn't believe in some of these players to bring them earlier. That's the problem. RYX9, big up to him. Is in all seriousness, I want Maresca sacked if he fails to get UCL football. To be honest, that's the standard for me this season, and I think that's fair. Sure, I mean that's your opinion. I just think we can't continue. I know it worked for us previously in our previous ownership. It's not going to work for us anymore. I'm sorry. You know why it's not going to work for us anymore? Because back then we had Frank Lampard, we had Didier Drogba, we had Ashley Cole, we had Peter Cech, we had John Terry, we had number of and that's just 5 legends. There's just so many other top class players in with all of those legends. It didn't matter which manager came in back then. Now, if you chop and change, look at the level of squad that we have. You think, haven't we changed enough managers, and has any one of them got success from the squad that the directors have built? No. You could chop and change managers back then. They were phenomenal players. And sometimes you didn't even need a manager. El Nino, thank you so much for the super chat. The club don't want to break the wage on experience. Yeah, well, if you don't want to do that, I'm sorry, then be happy where you are. We don't even have a front of shirt sponsorship. All of this is financially hurting us as well. We might have been able to, see through PSR now. Yeah, no Premier League teams got caught up in PSR. But how much longer? What do we have to do to make sure that we don't get done by PSR next season? Do we need to get rid of some key players? Ibzy, big up to you, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jeremy, big up. Where's the overreaction, guys? Be real for F's sake. Most of these guys, Miz, haven't seen us win the Prem and don't know what it feels like to think we are playing in the UECL with amateur fathers and uncles. Discuss me. Exactly, man. Some of these guys, it's mad. The club rather break the bank on 20 plus average youngsters than sign 3 to 4 key starters. This is the problem. This is the thing. It's just stockpiling. I don't know. Like, I get it. Settled, balanced team first. It's just sad. And do you know what the crazy part is? Throughout this transfer window, I feel like it's going to be like, until the transfer window is finished and done and dusted, there's a whole heap of confusion. There's a whole heap of, mismanagement at the moment. This transfer window needs to finish quickly. We need to bring a couple of players that actually fits Enzo Maresca and get rid of a lot of players that don't fit. And then get back into concentrating. You can clearly see the team right now, it's lacking a lot of confidence. It's playing one good half and then it gets demoralized when we're not putting away goals. It's clear to see. The way we played against Fulham first half, the way we played against Crystal Palace first half, the way we played against Bournemouth first half, the way we even played against Everton, created a lot of chances. But when you miss so many, when you keep missing so many, it just demoralizes the team. It really demoralizes the team. And now the team, when it gets demoralized, it can't seem to come back out again. It feels worried. It feels nervous. It feels scared that they know they're incapable of defending and holding on to a clean sheet. They know that. They know they're not good enough. Maresca knows that as well. I guess this is probably why he doesn't throw the kitchen sink. I want him to at times, but then I realize I get it. He's concerned. You throw the kitchen sink, the score is going to be 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. And then it looks bad. Imagine one of these teams absolutely cleans us up soon. Imagine one of these teams cleans us up soon. It's going to look bad. The team right now, it gets nervous. It gets scared. You know why? There's a lot of inexperienced players at the highest level. There's a lot. Yes, there are some that have done good. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner, but he's still a young player. He's still a kid as well. Cucurella is probably the only one that's maturity level high. It's one stuff. But how many more is there? How many more is there? Madueke. Has Madueke won anything? Has Jackson won anything? Okay, Cole Palmer's won a lot of things, but he wasn't really part of the main team. It's difficult to pull these kids out of this nervousness, this scared attitude. This is why you need experience. Experience can help, not just in football, in any form of life. El Nino, thank you so much for the super chat. Which players would you sign in Jan to fix the issue? Look, I'm not a scout. I can't tell you which player, but I can tell you what we need. We need a midfielder back. That I can tell you. We need Andre Santos back. That one thing, straight up. If we can't get Andre Santos, at least get Ugochukwu back. At least get that. So that's one thing. Second thing, proper competition for Nicholas Jackson. Proper. I mean, someone who can actually topple Nicholas Jackson and start and perform to the level of what Enzo Maresca wants. And three, if we can, a CB, a centre back. A legitimately boss centre back who's excellent in wide defending, who's excellent in 1v1 defending. And strong aerially as well, of course. And get rid of a whole heap of other people. Get rid of them. Get rid of a whole heap of other people. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Smash up the like button. That would be nice. Nearly 400 of you guys are live. It'd be nice if you guys can all smash up the like button. That's the least I could ask for. That's the least you could do for me, ladies and gentlemen, for the channel, for the growth of the channel. If you enjoy the channel, you enjoy the conversations, enjoy the interactions. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers. And for anyone that's joined now, replay, watch from the top, comment below what you thought. Keep the comments respectful. Keep it respectful. Don't have a go at, don't insult me. Tell your point in a respectful manner without insulting me, without abusing me. There's no need for that. Yeah, the thunder is over. The thunder is over. Just when the stream is over as well. That was my effects. I turned it on. I turned it off again. I'll catch you guys later, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be later on tonight bringing you the latest in Chelsea and might even do a review on one of the other matches that's happening. We need to watch other matches. We need to watch other matches, especially Newcastle. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Bye.